Welcome to Fireside Giants. My name is Alex with my co-host Anthony, the Great Rivardo, and today we got the Entertainah Chris on the line breaking down Xavier McKinney's film from the Week 17 win over the Dallas Cowboys. Really excited to break in to Xavier McKinney. This was his best performance. Second-round pick from the Giants this past year, injured for a majority of the season, but came on late and really impressed me in this final contest. But before we dive into things, Chris, how are you doing, my friend? I know the Mets just got a big deal, so I know you're happy.
Oh, I am thrilled right now. Long-suffering New York Mets fan. I'm actually going to go live. Rarely talk about Mets on the channel. Made a video. I'm going to go live tonight and talk about it. But here, we're going to talk about Xavier McKinney. And I'm excited to jump into the film. Obviously, I saw a couple of big plays. Haven't watched the film yet. I know you guys do a great job. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys saw and breaking it down with you guys.
Absolutely. Anthony, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Anybody who's been watching our channel for a while knows that I'm a huge Xavier McKinney fan. I did that film breakdown in the summer, after we drafted him. I managed to get my hands on the Alabama All-22 film, which is not hard to get your hands on, but I got it. And I made a really nice film breakdown with Xavier McKinney, and I kind of just fell in love with him as a prospect and as a player for the Giants. The title of the video was Why Xavier McKinney Will Be a Star for the Giants. I fully believe that, and I think that after this Week 17 performance of his, I think we're all going to believe that because he really showed some flashes of potential that he can be a star in the future once he gets on the field even more and once he continues to develop in the professional sport.
Yeah, absolutely. And Xavier McKinney's a guy, he finished this Week 17 win over Dallas with 8 tackles, a tackle for a loss, a pass defended, and an interception. He actually had another interception earlier on in the game, but it was called back on a Darnay Holmes holding call. But at the end of the day, he showed extreme progress at the end of the campaign for the Giants, and he learned a lot from Logan Ryan. Ryan said earlier on in the year, he comes to work every day, even when he wasn't able to play. He was sitting in the film room, digesting, learning, and just trying to become the best player possible. So when he got his opportunity, he was ready. And they really eased him in. It took a while for them to really get him into action. But once he kind of got an idea of Patrick Graham's scheme and really learned the ins and outs, he shined in that final game. And I think that was what we needed to see to say, going into 2021, I feel confident with him, Jabril Peppers, and Logan Ryan back there at safety. That trio right there is something to be excited about. And then we saw Julian Love at cornerback, which is now a whole nother film review we're going to do from that Week 17 win, because Julian Love is a guy I think might be able to compete for that starting cornerback spot alongside James Bradbury next year. I think bringing in some more guys to compete would be a benefit. But for the most part, McKinney is able to hold down that free safety role. He can move up into the box. He can even rush the passer occasionally. But we saw him actually bite on some of these balls and jump these routes, especially on the interception that was called back. And just having good ball awareness, reading the quarterback's eyes, doing things that safeties are supposed to do at a high level. And Logan Ryan, you can see how it's influenced him, the way that he moves, the way he creeps up to the line of scrimmage and drops back, the way he's trying to disguise his looks. It's really impressive to see a rookie do those type of things. And Logan Ryan's had a huge impact on him. So I definitely want to dive into this film. I'm really excited to get your guys' opinions and see, what you guys think about him.
Yeah, I'm excited myself because I thought this was huge for McKinney to end the season like this, because the week before he was bad. He had a couple of really bad missed tackles. I think Giants fans were starting to sour on him a bit, but he ended it on a very high note. And it was even before even looking at the film. It wasn't just the interception. He was very impactful throughout this game. I cannot wait to dive into it.
All right, so the first play we're diving into, first quarter, 11 minutes, 3rd and 7. And just so you guys know, I circled him on every play, so that way you know where he is on the field. I know that was a request, so just to make sure that you guys spot him. And right now he's playing free safety in a cover 2 man. And this is his interception, I believe.
Yeah, this is the one that got called back. You're going to see a hold by Darnay Holmes, I believe, on CeeDee Lamb working out of the slot. It's a pretty obvious hold, but what you do like to see from McKinney is he's playing that strong safety role and playing the deep half in the zone coverage, protecting the back end against this man defense, and he just breaks on this ball really quickly. He reads the quarterback's eyes, he reads the route by CeeDee Lamb, and as soon as he sees him start to break to the outside, he breaks on the ball and he gets there. And it's not the best throw. It's actually a really ugly throw. This was probably one of Dalton's worst throws of the day. He kind of sails this one, and it's really inaccurate. But still, even if it wasn't, McKinney was going to get down there and lay a hit on CeeDee Lamb regardless if this ball is accurate or not and if he's not held. So this is not going to be a completion either way just because of how quickly McKinney read this pass and broke down on the ball, and it's just a great play by a rookie safety to have such great play recognition.
Yeah, you really saw him there. Like you said, he read the quarterback's eyes, and he anticipated that route before it even came out of his hand. It was a great anticipation there by McKinney playing center field.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And that, I just want to point it out because the way he reads the quarterback's eyes is really nice here. Especially look at the chemistry that him and Logan Ryan have, which is what I really want to point out as well. You can see Logan Ryan trying to cover that middle of the field just in case. So Logan Ryan shifts back to the middle, which allows McKinney to actually shade toward the boundary to squeeze that, because you see Julian Love in man coverage here, just in case he wants to have help over the top. So he's actually squeezing that boundary and just waiting to see what the quarterback does, has his eyes on CeeDee Lamb, right? He has the perfect vision angle, right? Because he can see CeeDee Lamb and the quarterback at the same time here. So this is really, really good by him to get in the perfect angle. And the second, look, this ball isn't even out yet. And look at that reaction timing. He's already breaking on this ball. And bam, he's in the right spot. Even if CeeDee Lamb isn't held here, he might pick this off. He might be able to get this.
It's definitely incomplete either way. He's definitely breaking on it, and he's either literally giving CeeDee Lamb a concussion or he's getting an interception. So
yeah,
he was ready for that.
That's exactly what you want. That's a good job there by McKinney.
Absolutely.
I'm excited to see how. I'm sure you guys are going to break it down how they use, because he's a very versatile player.
Oh yeah, and you'll see that throughout this film. You're going to see a bunch of different looks. He's playing the run. He blows up a wide receiver screen at one point, blasting through a tight end. The guy, he looks small in the field, but he's stronger than he looks, man. He's aggressive, and that was the problem. Chris, you said before he had a tough game the week prior against Baltimore, and I primarily think that he did not feel comfortable being aggressive yet. And I think they kind of calmed him down a bit and said, like, X, you can be aggressive. Don't be afraid to go make a tackle. Don't be afraid to be aggressive, jump on a ball. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. It's okay to make a mistake, but don't deviate from the way you play just because you're afraid to make a mistake. This is a way your style. Let your instincts take control. And we saw that in this game. He let his instincts really just take control at his position, his natural position at free safety. And we saw him play such a better football game.
No, I mean, he was definitely one of the highlights of this game, and it's a shame that this one got called back, but it was still a great play.
Yep, he still got his interception at the end.
Yeah, still got one.
Okay, so here we're first quarter, 7 minutes. And I circle him again, so he's playing really in the slot area in the box.
Yeah, it looks like he's playing slot cornerback here.
Yep.
Or he's kind of playing linebacker, actually. It looks like he's playing outside linebacker.
Yeah. So you're seeing him in
look at his eyes.
A completely different role in this play. You're seeing his versatility.
Well, what I like to see is look at his eyes. Look at him looking around. He's very aware of what's happening on the field. So he's looking across the line of scrimmage. Because you can see him. Look at Bradbury at the bottom of your screen. Look at them. Look at each other. They're communicating, right? Mm-hmm. You can see both of them looking across the line of scrimmage right here. See, they're looking at each other right now, and they're communicating to see what's going on here. And then you can see he's side-eyeing Amari Cooper. So he's trying to play this, see what's going on. And I'm pretty sure this is a running play. So he's just playing the run here, and he gets into the mix and helps make the tackle. And this is what you want, man. He's just play recognition from a young defender. That's like everything. That's how a lot of players get stuck in their progression and development. They just have trouble diagnosing plays when it's happening. And you can see him looking around, seeing what his teammates are doing, how they're reacting. They're communicating from across the field. That tells me that Patrick Graham has done a phenomenal job getting his players into mental shape to communicate while they're pre-snap and figuring out like what is going on, what the looks are, what the reads are. And it's just really impressive across the board that a young guy like McKinney is so adapted to this defense. And he really showed up in this game and really proved to us that he's capable of being a playmaker.
Yeah, in terms of reading defenses, I knew that would never be a problem for Xavier McKinney. That was something that really impressed me back at Alabama. He was just really smart, and he always knew what the offense was doing. He was just reading everything. And another thing I want to point out on this play is the Giants are in pretty much I think they're in a cover 4. Is that what we said beforehand, Alex? Right? This is a cover 4. Yes, so that means that Xavier McKinney playing when Xavier McKinney's playing outside linebacker here in a cover 4, his job is to run to the sideline and protect that. But pre-snap, the whole entire defense recognizes that it's going to be a run play. So Xavier McKinney, being a safety in the box playing linebacker, has a really tall task here because they're obviously going to run to his side. They all knew that, so they're targeting Xavier McKinney on this play. They're like, oh, they have a safety playing linebacker, let's run it that way. But he does an excellent job actually playing his run fit properly and making the tackle, which is really impressive stuff from, a safety in the box playing linebacker, because typically, especially in the cover 4, they're all going to drop back into coverage and play deep coverage, and he's going to protect the entire sideline. But obviously Dallas recognized that and realized it's time to run after this rookie safety playing outside linebacker. But he was completely fine. He was ready for the challenge.
Yep. I like how they sealed the edge here too.
You bring up the intelligence. I mean, I remember that was the big draw on him when the Giants brought him in. I remember that's all you read about. Nick Saban would brag about how smart of a football player he was, how he was able to diagnose things and things like that. And it was kind of a theme in this year's New York Giants draft. Every player they drafted. Darnay Holmes was a chess wizard, right? And it was the same thing here with Xavier McKinney. I remember them saying he wasn't like an unbelievable athlete, they said, but he was a guy that was decent, pretty good athlete, but that was very good at doing things like this, diagnosing plays, knowing what's coming from the opposing offense.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And, I do want to give a little shout out to Dexter Lawrence here, who does a phenomenal job shedding this block. He just waits, and then just look how strong he is. He just detaches and wraps up Ezekiel Elliott. Really nice job there. And then McKinney getting in there to help him out. This is just quality defense, and that's something that Patrick Graham did all year. The discipline that this defense has, and when there's a ball carrier, when they notice that someone has the ball, there's a running play, there's a screen, whatever it might be, they all attack. You'll never see another team with more players around the ball than the Giants. And that's what I've noticed with really good defenses across the NFL. I know you guys see it too. When there's a really good defense playing at a high level, there just always is more defenders around the ball carrier than there are anybody else. They just swarm like bees. To honey. It's really impressive to see how much energy and just how much discipline they have. It's awesome. Just love to see it.
I like that. What was that, a simile?
Analogy?
Whatever it was very good.
You so it actually is a simile. Look at Chris. He's got some good English skills.
I'm going back to 4th grade. I know.
Nice.
Okay. So you see McKinney is playing free safety. This is cover 2 man again. They played a lot of cover 2 man in this game. They actually surprisingly played a lot of cover 2 man, just man coverage in general, because against these wide receivers, Michael Gallup, Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, I didn't expect them to play so much man. It was actually interesting to see Patrick Graham dial that up, especially with Julian Love, who really wasn't that comfortable at cornerback just yet.
Yeah, especially at a empty backfield look from the offense. A lot of the times you see teams play zone, just to sit in zones and let all those 5 out wide receivers run to them instead of having to follow them across this open formation. But here they man up and they do get burned. They give up a first down, but this is a tackle by Xavier McKinney. You can see once again he breaks on the ball really quickly here. Again, CeeDee Lamb running another out route with Darnay Holmes in coverage. This time Holmes doesn't hold and he gets beat. CeeDee Lamb is an excellent wide receiver, rookie as well. But I do like how quickly Xavier McKinney, broke down on this pass. He was just a step late, but I do like how quickly he recognizes this ball. Because again, as soon as the ball is released, you see him breaking on it and he gets there. It's just, this one's a better throw. This is a better throw. So this is a completion.
Also, Holmes is injured. Keep that in mind. He had a tough game. He had a couple tough games this year, but he's been dealing with a knee injury for a couple weeks now. So I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. He's playing one of the best rookie wide receivers in the NFL. One of the best. I'd probably say one of the best slot guys right now. And Holmes is just fighting through injuries. So got to give him credit where it's due. He wanted to be at that first team. He gets beat a couple times, but again, it's CeeDee Lamb. He's going to beat you no matter who it is. And I think McKinney, like you said, he's a half step away. He catches this right here. Look how close he is. This is just veteran, recognition. As he gets older and experienced, he will notice these things. And honestly, this is just a perfect pass. There's not much you can do.
Yeah, I would say overall in this game going in, I really thought they were going to struggle a lot more than they did in coverage because of their wide receiver play. And I still don't have tremendous, confidence in our cornerbacks. I just don't, outside of Bradbury. But overall, I thought we did a great job on the wide receivers. The tight ends kind of lit us up a bit, but in this game, I actually thought we did a really good job, all things considered, against the wide receivers.
Yeah, I completely agree.
But again, like you said, kind of like the last play, maybe a little bit later, but again, good recognition there by McKinney to break on the ball.
Yeah, just a better throw this time, really.
Yeah, that's a perfect throw. Look at that. You can't ask for a better throw than that.
And he does try and strip it out. You can see it's just CeeDee Lamb's got strong hands.
Yeah.
He was always going out of bounds anyway, I think. But here we go. Play number 4 for McKinney. This is the second quarter. Can't see the boogeyman's in front of it. Okay, so there's 34 seconds left on the clock in the second quarter. And you got single high. I think we diagnosed this as cover 3.
Now it's the third quarter. It switched on us.
Oh, it switched on us? Okay.
Yeah, it's the third quarter.
All right. Well, I have my little red circle come up somewhere. There he is.
Looks like he's playing linebacker again. So that's pretty interesting. Again, inside linebacker this time as well. Not even outside linebacker. He looks like he's more inside.
Yeah, they got Sheard on the outside there. Yeah, you said, he's playing inside linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane to me, right? Because Patrick Graham, man, the guy is a magician. He has Xavier McKinney playing free safety, strong safety, outside linebacker, inside linebacker. That is what they want, though. That is the Joe Judge mentality. They want players to be able to fit different molds. They want to rotate. They want to confuse. They want to disguise. And this is exactly what, getting a guy like McKinney is like. He can play against the run. He can put pressure on the passer when he rushes like that. And he can drop back in coverage and be a very, very good player as a free safety. And we also saw him play some slot corner this year. So, man, I have to say, as a rookie to play that many positions and that many reps all over the place, I'm pretty excited to see what he's going to do in the future.
Yeah, for sure, man. And again, involved there in that tackle. And that was a interesting formation there by Graham. It looks like he's got 5 guys up at the line of scrimmage. He's got 1 high safety. Interesting. I mean, he does that all the time. He has all different kind of formations, so he's given different looks. But really interesting to see all the different ways that he lined McKinney up in this game.
Yeah, that's the 5-2 defense, which is actually a really rare defense to see teams run, to actually put 5 people on the line of scrimmage. So they got 3 down linemen and then the 2 outside linebackers, it looks like. So it's kind of like the 5-2 where you just have 2 linebackers, but it is a run defense, but usually you have 2 actual linebackers. So to see them go with McKinney in a 5-2 and have him play that inside linebacker position says a lot as to what the Giants think of Xavier McKinney as a tackler and as an aggressive, playmaker down in the box.
A good job here too. I noticed by Martinez.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, obviously the Mike of the defense, putting him in the right spot.
Exactly. He looks over, he pulls him over. He's like, okay, we want you to be playing towards the middle. And that was actually a very, very good call by Martinez, because this was never going to the weak side. It was going to the strong side. So it was nice by him to now he's in a position to fill that gap.
But McKinney got that cutback lane, and that's,
Exactly.
It's a great play by Martinez pre-snap, like you guys mentioned, and then post-snap he makes the tackle, Martinez does. But McKinney gets credited with a half a tackle here because he cleans it up at the end. But, he cleans it up because Martinez puts him in that position to do so. So really Martinez made this entire play, and that was pretty impressive. Says a lot about, that signing of Blake Martinez, how that really changed our defense and really helped propel us to having one of the best defenses in the NFL this year.
Yeah,
exactly.
Really underrated acquisition by the Giants.
Oh, yeah. Super underrated.
Yeah. I think everybody knows I wasn't really a fan of it when it happened, but, I'll eat crow. I was definitely wrong about it.
Enthused with it either. I wanted the guy that went to the
Littleton? Raiders, right? He went to the Raiders.
From the Rams.
He's been terrible this year. He's been awful.
Terrible coverage, but I'll tell you what, man, Martinez, I've watched the Giants for a long time. He's our best linebacker we've probably had since Pierce. I mean,
I think so.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I would say. Hey, man, don't hurt Alec Ogletree feelings like that.
I'll hurt it all I want. I'll hurt it all I want. That guy was a bust with the New York Giants. Was definitely not worth it.
Bad.
Yeah,
very bad.
And he was making $10 million. He was actually making the same amount that Blake Martinez is right now.
Yeah, so and he signed that contract 2 years earlier when the market wasn't as high as it is now.
Yeah, that's nuts. That's crazy.
That's on the Rams, though. The Rams are stupid for that.
Not one of Dave Gettleman's highlights.
The Rams were like, oh my God, somebody actually wants to acquire him. They were like, holy crap, let's get him out of here as soon as possible. They were like, sign the papers, like, get it out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on to, I think, play number 5. So we have 4:52 in the fourth quarter, unless it switches up on us again. But I think that's it. Yep. Okay, so I think we got cover 2 here as we diagnosed it.
All right, where is he this time? He's again playing linebacker. So.
Yep.
Well, they really did play him a lot.
Or is he playing slot? Is he playing slot or linebacker here? Because there's a lot of receivers and trips. Well, let's see what he does.
Well, it's a zone. It's kind of okay. You could call it either one. I guess you could call it either one, but it's kind of hard to tell because this is a cover 2, so it's not like he's traveling with anybody. So he's not like playing cornerback. He's playing more linebacker because he's dropping back into his own coverage.
Right. Well,
right across the board with the other linebackers. So
yeah, it's a 4-3 defense. So he's playing that third linebacker.
This is a 3-4.
Is it a 3? Oh, because they have.
Yeah, Jabal Sherrod was standing up on the edge. So this is a 3-4, but because you're going to see that Julian Love at the top of the screen, he drops back into that, or he drops down into that shallow, like cloud flat, and then McKinney stands kind of next to him, but a little deeper, and that's because he's playing the middle of the field with the other linebackers. So he is playing linebacker once again here. Which is interesting, though, that they have him playing linebacker in a 3-4. That's interesting.
He was it looked like a zone for him, right? He dropped back. He was covering a specific spot on the field.
Mm-hmm. Yep. This is a cover 2 zone. He's playing the same zone as Martinez, except a little bit to the right. So those 3 linebackers in the middle all sit down in their little zones, and then the 2 on the 2 cornerbacks will play their zones closer to the line of scrimmage. So then you just have like those 2 on the line of scrimmage on the outside, and then in the middle you just have a wall of 3 linebackers playing zones, and then you have the 2 deep safeties over top.
That was a good job again by him. I mean, they ended up getting 3 or 4 yards, but did a good job covering that receiver until it was no longer his, part of the zone, and he collapsed and made a quick tackle.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, he's just covering those shorts. Yep, nice. I mean, McKinney, like I said, the diversity that we're seeing from him is really impressive. I love Patrick Graham's ability to use his players in many different ways, which is one of the most attractive parts of his defensive scheme. All right, so we are on to a nice little flat route screen to the tight end. And as you see Xavier McKinney back there, he's on an island, and Anthony will begin to describe that for you.
Yeah, he's playing free safety. This is cover 2 man. And what Alex and I discussed before we started recording was that this is really McKinney on an island, one-on-one with the tight end here. And if he doesn't make this tackle, it's probably a touchdown, and that's really what you like to see, because that's a tight end. A tight end is a big dude, and a lot of the times with these smaller defensive backs, you see tight ends, they can just run them over and pick up a first down or get into the end zone here in this situation. But McKinney is a really good tackler. He gets into position, he chops his feet and he dives and he makes a textbook tackle. It's great form on this tackle, and like I said, it's just one-on-one, and he makes the play, and that's what you really like to see with a defensive back, to be able to make a one-on-one play like this, because you see that CeeDee Lamb has 1 CB completely blocked and out of the play, and then Julian Love at the top, I think that's Amari Cooper blocking him. He kind of gets off here at the end, but he's still not really in the play at this point, and there's a good chance if McKinney's not there to make this tackle that Julian Love wouldn't be able to get there in time either. So this could have been a touchdown, but really the way that I see it, Xavier McKinney kind of slows him down, kills his momentum, and really saves a touchdown here with this tackle.
Yeah, really good looking play. Because like you said, that's a tight end. That's a huge size advantage.
Yeah,
exactly. And with Dalton Schultz here, actually, Xavier McKinney has his number. You'll see the last couple plays. He really shuts down Dalton Schultz for the last fourth quarter portion of the game, and he makes 2 fantastic plays. This is one of them. And you're a tight end in the NFL, and you're facing off against a safety, and you can see the size differential right here. It's like a T-Rex running towards a hamster. It's you obviously you would assume that Dalton Schultz could break this, but McKinney does a good job just getting him around the hips. And bam, like he just waits for help, just slow him down enough to get help. And again, this goes back to what I said before. The Giants, this defense is just so disciplined. The second a guy catches the ball, They all swarm. Watch, he slows them down right here. Look at all these guys turn around and start running towards him. By the time that Dalton Schultz breaks away from this, there's 4 guys on him. That's awesome. You love to see that type of pursuit.
Yeah, fantastic job of staying with it, though. I mean, first he goes up high a little bit, like you said, to slow him down, and then he gets him by the ankles. But it kind of, by him going high at first, it seems like it slowed him down enough for his teammates to be able to come over and potentially help. So it was a really good job there by McKinney.
Yeah, absolutely. Love to see it. Bam, nice, right around the waist.
Really? Yeah, well done. And this reminds me of I want to throw this out here. This reminds me of when I did that film breakdown, because you guys were mentioning how he's kind of taken Dalton Schultz out of the game at this point, right? How he kind of shut him down in this fourth quarter. It reminds me of in college, there was a game where Alabama was playing Texas A&M, and Xavier McKinney was playing safety primarily in the first half of the game. But Texas A&M's slot wide receiver was just torching Alabama's defense. He was just going off, and nobody could guard him. So then they moved Xavier McKinney into the slot, and I think that slot receiver had 1 reception the rest of the game. He was completely shut down by Xavier McKinney. So that's something that Xavier McKinney really does have the ability to do. You can just assign him to one player, he'll take them out of the game. And I think that we even saw that in the fourth quarter of this game against Dallas, because I think that they really did, try and target him on Dalton. Really took him out of the game here.
Yeah, they love their tight ends. If you've ever watched Dallas, you know that they love their tight ends in third and short situations. They love them on screen pass. They love them in the red zone. And McKinney literally just takes Dalton Schultz out of this game. And this is the most important drive of the game right here.
You don't need to remind me about the tight ends, by the way.
We know this.
Yeah.
Schultz, I will say, I thought actually had a really good game, but the fourth quarter, they locked him out. Jason Witten, I remember he had one game against us. I think it was like a Thursday night or a Monday night. He had like 18 catches. I think it's the most catches ever by a tight end in a single game. He used to destroy us.
Do you remember that one season opener that the Giants had like in the bag, and then Wani Unga? Remember Wani Unga had to guard Jason Witten on an island on like a third down in the red zone, and then Jason Witten just like walks in for the easiest touch.
Yeah, bad Jason Witten memories. Bad Jason Witten memories.
Bad Jason Witten memories.
Yeah. I'm so happy he can barely run now when he's on the Raiders.
Remember when he had two sprained ankles and he played a game and he had like 10 catches? Like, how do you do that?
He was tough as nails.
To him.
He was tough as nails.
Absolutely.
I'll give him credit for that, man. I'll give him credit. The guy played through injuries. The guy, he did a lot for that Dallas team, and now they're feeling the loss of some of their better tight ends. I know Dalton Schultz is like down the list. They have a few other guys who are better, but injuries took their toll this year.
Blake Jarwin.
Jarwin's pretty talented.
Nice.
Jarwin had 3 touchdowns against us last year.
2 years ago. 2 years ago, I think it was. Yeah,
that's exactly right.
Yeah. Last game of the year. So week 17.
That's when Janoris Jenkins just did not even attempt to make a tackle.
Yeah. I mean, look, realistically, this is the last drive of the game, right? And they trust Xavier McKinney here to go on an island with their tight end, and Dalton Schultz is not the worst player in the world. Like, he actually has been productive this year, and the fact that Patrick Graham trusted X to get this job done against Dalton was pretty made a big impact in my thoughts on on Xavier as well, just because it's just so impressive to see a young guy like that stepping up and really shutting down a very, very focal point of their offense. So I'm excited to see this interception right now because of that.
Yeah, couldn't have picked a better player to close out the game. He needed that confidence boost, and I think the fans love to see it.
I completely agree. And this is cover 2 man. The Giants, again, I think that's pretty ballsy play call to just man up across the board and have 2 deep safeties on a 3rd and 17 where the game is on the line. But, it works out, of course, because really what makes this play is an excellent pass rush. And you can say that's because of, Leonard Williams. He just completely obliterates the offensive tackle that he's going up against and gets a nice clutch pressure here, forces Andy Dalton to throw the ball up. And then it's up to McKinney. He's just roaming around there as a deep safety. Just find the ball and see ball, get ball, Just once you find it, go catch it and steal the game. And that's exactly what he does.
Yeah, I can't stop from chuckling and just watching Isaac Yiadom trying to cover Dalton Schultz right here.
I think Isaac Yiadom.
He gets smoked. He gets smoked by a fucking tight end.
He lost his job. You saw how Love played. I don't expect Yiadom back here next year.
Look at this. Look, he loses every body position. By the time, if Xavier McKinney doesn't intercept this, Schultz is catching this ball. Like, look at the position he has on him. This is a touchdown. Xavier McKinney saves a touchdown right here on the last hurrah.
It really is. I mean, back to the ball. You're talking about a safety. You're not talking about a wide receiver.
No, Willie Mays action.
Over his shoulder. It's a tough catch.
Yeah, it's a really nice play there by McKinney.
Yeah, and he's throwing it away, so he has to run back. It's just really nice. Like, that's the difference between winning and losing, though. Like, they say football's a game of inches, and you see Isaac Yadam's like chasing his tail right now with Dalton Schultz, a tight end in coverage. So thank God we had Julian Love to shut down some, Amari Cooper. At least I think he gave up like 50 yards, but a lot of it was, was just like yards after the catch, just, stuff like that in zone coverage. But I loved it. Love to see this Xavier McKinney showing up in a big moment. And the next play, the last play of this film breakdown, is my favorite play of this game. On defense, especially, it's just Xavier McKinney over again. Dalton Schultz taking advantage of him, just overpowering a tight end. It's really just impressive.
Yeah, that's my bad because this play happened before this one, obviously, but I screwed up with the recording, so it's going to be the last play that we look at, even though it's not the last play that happened. But it's arguably his best play, so maybe it's a good one to finish on.
That's for last.
Yeah,
I'm mad, Anthony. I can't believe you did that.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Chris. Yeah, and again, I want to say this catch by McKinney to go over his shoulder and make that reception while moving laterally, that's a play. We saw Julian Love drop like an interception or two in this game. Like, that's a thing that you don't see from defensive backs, to be able to locate and keep their body control and make a catch like that. So again, just speaking to the true talent that Xavier McKinney has as a rookie, it's pretty impressive.
And now in this play, you're seeing him now he's clearly in the slot. Yeah. Like, you've seen so many different ways they really utilize this guy.
Oh yeah,
so many ways.
And I'll say to that, pre-draft, a lot of Giants fans really wanted Isaiah Simmons. I was one of them, and a lot of the reason why is because of how versatile he was. And a lot of fans were upset when we took Andrew Thomas instead, because they were like, "Oh, we should have taken Isaiah Simmons." Well, then the following day we took Xavier McKinney and completely made up for it. We got arguably somebody more versatile than Isaiah Simmons.
Yeah, I was a big Thomas guy, but I noticed tackle guy in general, and I noticed that everybody was okay when we took McKinney. Everybody was like, "All right, okay, we're good, good. We got our second round Simmons."
Yeah, I mean, the Giants nailed it. That they were like, okay, like, we could get Simmons, but then we don't get our tackle, and then they were like, we see McKinney as a guy who can do all these different things and be really diverse, and they really nailed it, man. Like, this is why they are paid the big bucks to make these decisions, because they noticed they could get Xavier McKinney over Isaiah Simmons and get similar production in terms of playing different positions. And he can actually line up as a cornerback. I would not trust Isaiah Simmons as a slot corner, as a cornerback in the NFL. McKinney can do that.
Slot, but not outside.
Not outside. But also, I wouldn't trust him against CeeDee Lamb in the slot anyway. That's just not
Lamb,
not who I would.
But anyway, that doesn't matter. That's Isaiah Simmons is in Arizona now. He's irrelevant.
Yes, exactly. But anyway, I want to get through this last play because it's just I got to play this. It's so freaking amazing. Watch Xavier McKinney here. Dalton Schultz tries to block him, but there's no way that the train of Xavier McKinney is being stopped right here. He just bulldozed. Like, look at this. For a guy his size,
wow.
Look how far he pushes Dalton Schultz out of the way. Turns his whole body around. Bam. This play is over right now. Right now, CeeDee Lamb's like, yep. CeeDee Lamb's like, Dalton, are you freaking kidding me, bro? This guy's a hamster, and you're letting him push you around, and bam, it's over.
That is a phenomenal play to fight through that. And it's all about the leverage. We go back to the intelligence thing. He saw the play coming, so he knew he had to get on that side of Schultz, and he was able to push him because of that. He got leverage, and he was able to break it up in the backfield.
Yeah, that's a good thing to point out, because it's not just about his strength versus Schultz's strength. It's he recognized that he has a weakness that he can attack, that outside shoulder. If he can exploit that, or I guess it would be the inside in this situation, if he can just run through that, he can turn Schultz around and then get an easy lane to CeeDee Lamb, and that's exactly what he does. And like we said, it's a phenomenal play. That's a play that you would expect a linebacker like Isaiah Simmons to make, and then this is a safety with the ability to do this against a tight end. It's just really impressive, and that's what tells you. Right here. That's why when I said in the offseason this kid is going to be a star, I looked at plays similar to this one. This is star in the making material.
Look at this.
Let me ask you.
This is the thing.
Next year, how do you think they utilize primarily? Where do you think they play him with Logan Ryan back on the team?
See, I think that's interesting because, we didn't really get to see him play a full game until week 17. And then week 17, they moved him all over the place. But they only really did that because Julian Love was forced to play, or not forced to play, but he was playing outside cornerback. Because really what Xavier McKinney is doing right now is kind of playing a more advanced role that Julian Love was playing. Julian Love was lining up like at slot corner, at strong safety, at free safety, but it wasn't playing linebacker, So I think it's really just the Julian Love role, but expanded into the linebacker role as well, which makes him 10 times more valuable than Julian Love was to this defense. So I think, it's dependent on whether or not they want to keep moving him around and using his versatility, which I think they should. Right. But in terms of the safety positions, where does he fit better? Personally, I always thought he's better as a strong safety, not a free safety. I don't think that his strength is really roaming the back end of the defense and playing a deep zone. I think it's moving down in the box, playing those shorter zones, and playing man coverage on tight ends, as we've seen. I think that's always been his strength, and I said that in the offseason. So that's why I was always advocating put more Jabril Peppers at money backer, play him inside linebacker more often than not, and have Xavier McKinney play strong safety, and that's how you get the best of both worlds there. But it seems like maybe even they're doing the opposite. They're going to keep Peppers at strong safety and play McKinney at the linebacker role, or they're just going to keep them interchangeable between the two, and that's fine by me. So really, in terms of a defined role for McKinney next year, I don't see one, but I think that's the beauty of Xavier McKinney. He's positionless. He's going to continue because he played, I think, 89% of the defensive snaps. And I think if he does that for 16 games next year, plays 89% of defensive snaps, but plays 40 of them at safety and 30 of them at linebacker and 30 of them at slot corner, you're maximizing his talent.
That's the beauty of McKinney. And you brought up the free safety aspect. I know a lot of Giants fans actually wanted Winfield because he was more of that center
traditional free safety
coverage type safety. But I do think because of what you just said, I think, and because of the type of defense the Giants run, it was like a perfect match. It really was.
Match made in heaven.
Yeah,
I agree, and I think he is, and I think this is a play that resembles what he's capable of doing. I mean, I just wanted to pause it right here because you can see he's using one hand to essentially disengage a tight end. Okay, he's a safety. He's a smaller guy, very, very visibly smaller guy. He's using one arm extension to keep this tight end away, and then he's going to attack with his other arm of one of the most elusive wide receivers in this past draft class. This is star potential. This frame right here is star potential, in my opinion.
Yeah,
it's great. I mean, he literally just took down CeeDee Lamb with one arm.
He celebrates at the end. He flexes on him, and he absolutely should. He should get hyped for that one. He knew that was a hell of a play because it absolutely was.
And what set that whole play up was all about recognition. Seeing it happening. When he was 2 or 3 yards away, or from the tight end, knowing to adjust his body.
Absolutely. As soon as he saw that the tight end was about to get in line to block, he blew it up. And that's exactly what you want to see. The play recognition, then the ability to actually make the play is the whole other part of it. Because if you can recognize a play is one thing, that's great. But you have to make the play as well. And he does both. And, star in the making. I've been saying it. I'm going to continue to say it.
Yep. And he missed half a season, guys. Like, that's the big one. Like you guys mentioned, more than half. If he plays 80-90% of snaps next year, and I imagine he will as long as he stays healthy, we're going to see a player develop so well and so quickly, and he can play all these different positions. And that the biggest thing for me in Patrick Graham's scheme is when you can play different positions like that, it makes disguising your coverages so much easier. Because you can put a guy like McKinney at inside linebacker and then drop him into coverage. You can do so many things that quarterbacks like Russell Wilson, these veteran guys aren't expecting. And that's really how you get the most out of your players. You have to confuse talented quarterbacks. And, they did it against Russell Wilson this past year. And I really am excited to see how he develops and grows and the role he plays on this defense. Because I think a year under their belt, especially with Patrick Graham, it's going to be awesome to see this unit develop. And I imagine they're going to keep a lot of the same guys like Leonard Williams. Hopefully they manage to keep Dalvin as well. Yeah. But I think they're going to try and keep that unit as close to the same as possible, because we're talking about a group, guys, that went from, I think it was 31st in the league in points allowed per game under Betcher to 11th.
It was kind of the reverse. Like the offense reverted to 31st, and the defense took a huge jump, and that's always kind of been the way that the Giants have seemingly been since they've been bad. One side outperforms the other. Hopefully next year they meet each other halfway. But the defense this year was really good, much better than anybody could have anticipated. And yeah, you think about the potential for this defense, even without bringing in free agent acquisitions. McKinney wasn't even here pretty much for the whole year, outside of the last 2 or 3, 4 weeks, and it took him a little time to get established. You think about a guy like Lorenzo Carter, if he could come back healthy, Lorenzo Carter fits this scheme so well. And I thought the first 2 or 3 weeks before he went down, he actually looked really good in it. He was playing a ton of the snaps. So you get him back, maybe he's healthy. You add an edge rusher or corner. This defense could be dynamite, and we get Patrick Graham back, which is the most important part.
Look, I'm honestly, I'm almost on the boat of saying this: use your money. Like, you don't even need to really draft like a star edge rusher if you don't want to, because the Giants produced like 40 something sacks this year.
Based off scheme, man.
Based off scheme. Look, like you mentioned, Zoe Carter is a guy I don't think has reached his potential yet. I know he tore his Achilles. It's a huge injury to come back from. I think he'll return and be okay. I think Ocean Ximenez will return and be okay. And I think they actually might even consider keeping Kyler Fackrell, because he did miss some time. He might even be willing to sign on another 1-year deal. I don't think he's going to get multi-years anywhere because, of that injury and stuff like that. But he's a guy that really looked good to me when he was on the field. If you rotate Zoe, O'Shane, maybe you have Carter Coughlin, who has a year, you have Cam Brown, who had some development, and then you have Fackrell. I think that's enough to have a good pass rush if you keep guys like Leonard Williams and Dalvin. And I think Dexter Lawrence takes a step forward too. I'm pretty excited to see where this group is going.
And if you don't elect to draft one early on in the first round, you could always find maybe a guy that you feel like, kind of like the Patriots always do, right? The Patriots always seem to find these guys in the 3rd or 4th round that fit their scheme. Maybe you find maybe a Carter Coughlin with more potential in the 3rd or the 4th round that you can stick in there and add to that pass rush. But it's really a positionless defense. And I think, corners are corners, the exterior corners. But in terms of the guys in the middle, the linebackers, the safeties, it's kind of interchangeable, and it's based on the opponents. And that's why I kind of agree with you. It's kind of why I've been very outspoken on the defense. I actually think the biggest need is the second exterior corner spot. I think they produce pressure through scheme.
I agree as well. I think that they'll get by with the edge rushers that they have. Yeah, we'd like to see more edge rusher talent, but that's really because of all the injuries that they're lacking edge rusher talent. We mentioned Lorenzo Carter, Ocean Ximenez, and those are our 3rd round guys that we took chances on, and they were accomplishing their goal. They were applying pressure. They're not dominant. They're not like elite Khalil Mack edge rushers, but they're applying pressure off the edge, which is all you need. And really, if the Giants wanted to, I think that they could even sign somebody in free agency to have an impact, and then just focus on the offense in the draft. Things like that. I think this defense, really the key to it is Patrick Graham, as we're all in agreement. He is he was the MVP of the team this year, arguably. I think Patrick Graham, him and my boy Joe Judge, but I'm really happy to see that Graham signed that extension. I was actually ecstatic when I saw it, because I think if we can just keep this core together with that defensive coordinator and these young defenders that we have on this team, keep those guys together at least another 2 years. I know Graham's probably going to get a head coaching job at some point with the work that he's been doing. If we can keep these guys together, I definitely think we can develop and eventually become a playoff team, make a run, mainly behind this defense. But like Chris mentioned, the offense needs to meet them somewhere in the middle. We really need to see some improvements from the offense this season, which I'm sure all 3 of us are going to be talking about extensively throughout this offseason.
Oh yeah, but that only help. That only make this defense even better if you could get an improved offense that keeps the defense off the field, keeps them fresh, sets them up for better field position, things like that. So I cannot wait for 2021. I think the New York Giants, I'm not saying Super Bowl or anything like that, but I think there's a lot to be optimistic about on both sides of the ball. And we'll see what they end up doing with the with the offensive coordinator. But I'm excited. I'm excited for 2021 New York Giants football. I think we ended this season on a very high note. and McKinney had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. And Chris, man, I really appreciate you coming on the channel. As you guys know, we're going to be doing a weekly thing next week. We'll figure out who we want to do. Maybe we'll do a free agent or maybe Darius Slayton.
Maybe go with one of those hot draft prospects that everybody's talking about.
Smith, Waddle.
Yeah, maybe we'll go with Smith. I know everybody's talking about him. We'll figure it out.
Yep. We'll do one cool one, and Anthony has some film that we can break down, and we'll take some highlights and stuff, whatever we can find. Take a look at what he's got. But as always, guys, thank you so much for tuning into Fireside Giants on a film breakdown. Xavier McKinney, a guy who we're really, really excited about, and his development should be really fun to watch. But Chris, thank you so much for joining, and we will catch you guys on the next one.